Okay, before we get into the StockMaster, the StockMaster itself is a common thread throughout the modules on our software. So every one of the modules have the StockMaster. So all aspects of stock will be maintained in the StockMaster in the screen. So let's just quickly explain the screen for you. So on top, we've got a search bar. Again, once we click on the question mark here, we can filter by different criteria. In other words, barcode, category, etc., etc. So the more we type here, the narrower the list becomes. So let's say, for example, I type in the word beans. So anything with the word beans will come up on the screen. We can edit. So it's just a quick way of navigating. Also, if we click on the list and we just push C, for example, it takes us to the C's. So let's go to G, C. So it takes you quickly. We can also do multiple operations on here, or multi-operations. So let's say, for example, I want to delete all these items. I literally just take my mouse, highlight all of them, and delete them. So I don't have to delete them one by one. If you want to delete specific ones, I keep my control key down on my keyboard. I click the ones I want to delete, and I click delete. It will then ask you for a reason why you're deleting it. Let's say it's damaged stock or whatever. You put in a reason there. The system will record the reason. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we've also got a navigation bar. So this is stock items. We can then click on categories. Those will be my stock categories. There we can just add or delete. We can't edit, obviously, because it's just a word or two. So just add or edit. Likewise with departments, add or edit departments. And then we've also got our suppliers on the screen as well. So everything relating to stock is nicely packaged sort of into one screen. To get back to my StockMaster items, I click on StockMaster items, and there we go. Right, so to add an item, okay, there's a lot of existing ones here, as you can see, but let's say I wanted to add a new item. I click add here on the left-hand side. So I click add. It will then ask me for the item details. So in the top, we've got PLU, or price lookup code. So that is automatically or set on auto, which will automatically generate a product code for you. Or you can just put your own code in there. So let's say, for example, I want to make it R23. That will be my product code. Or I can just leave it on blank, and then it will create its own one automatically. Most of the times you can just leave it on auto, unless, like I said, you're using specific product codes. Barcode, you'll go and scan the barcode in on. So you literally pick up the item, you'll scan it with the barcode. The barcode will be placed in that box. Or if it doesn't have a barcode, you can generate one over here. Okay, I'm just going to leave the barcode blank for now. I'm going to put in a description. So let's say, for example, I'm selling a calculator, big button. So let's say calculator, big button calculator. All right, that's the description. I put in the category, let's say electronics. Okay, or I pull up an existing one there. So when I add a new, you can see electronics is now a new category. It will automatically add this to my category. So next time when I put in something else that's under the electronics category, the category will be there already. So it saves it. Supplier, let's say I bought it at Macro. Macro is my favorite place. Department. Okay, our system uses categories and departments. So a department will, in essence, be used. Let's say, for example, you're selling clothing and you've got men's, ladies, and children's. That would be a department. A T-shirt, a pants, that would be a category. So that's how our sort of hierarchy works when it comes to products. So you've got your description. It's part of a certain category or part of a certain department. So department is sort of the highest umbrella. Then we've got something called price group. So what a price group is, easiest way to explain this is you have Coke, cream soda, and a Fanta, 330ml can. So you can make those all part of a price group called 330ml cool drinks, for example. So what will happen then is if later on I amended either my cost or my retail on one of those. So let's say my Cokes and my Fantas and cream sodas have now gone up from 12 Rand to 15 Rand. I can then do a change on one of them, and it will automatically pick up that this is part of a price group and prompt you to automatically update the others as well. So then you say yes. It will then give an option as well to do cost or retail, or both, cost and retail, and you apply the changes. And so you don't have to go into each individual item and adjust the pricing. There is another way as well, especially if you're running, let's say you've got like a menu or whatever, or a price list, where you can flag something as a price list or a menu, pull up the items that are in category as such, menu or price list, and then you can do a price change and automatically update the price. But again, I'll get into that later. Okay, then on the left-hand side, we've got our different flags, where you can click on the checkbox and mark it as let's say a price list item or a return item or a bulk product or controllable item, as a kitchen bar. Again, we'll get into that later, but these are the different flags for each product. Bin location is a physical location in your store. So let's say you've got shelves marked A1, B2, C3 or whatever. You can put in the bin location there. Supplier PLU, if it differs from the one that you've created. So that also helps with ordering. So you quote the exact supplier code when you're ordering the product. Minimum order, don't worry about that. That's tied basically to a price list item. But again, we'll get into that later. All these fields, by the way, everything again is explained in that help file. Under the question mark on the main screen, you click question mark, help file. It's all explained. All these fields that I'm showing you now are explained in depth in that help file. So here we've got our costs. So we can either put cost including or excluding. So let's say, for example, I paid 66 Rand for this including. It will then work it out based on our VAT percentage that we've set in our business information under EasyAs settings. We'll then work out the 15% excluding, or like I said, you can do excluding and it will work out including. Markup, we can put a certain markup on there, let's say 56, and then it'll give you an automatic retail based on that. So I'm just going to make this 99 Rand. Retail level, we've got 3 retail levels on each item, so you can use those. Retail level 1, retail standard is the standard price. Then retail level 1 and retail level 2 you can use for things like if you're selling to wholesalers, you give them a special price or a pensioner's price or whatever. So you've got 2 prices, or 3 prices, should I say, that you can play with for each item on our system. Then you've got stock on hand. So stock on hand will be your stock on hand, how many you have on the shelf. So let's say in this case I've got 12. Pack size, if there's a pack size that applies to this item, in this case it doesn't, it's just a one single. Then we've also got a reorder level. So what will happen is when this item reaches, let's say you're selling these calculators and it reaches 2 or goes below, the software will automatically give you a little pop-up which appears in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen telling you that this item has reached reorder level. It will also automatically add it to the orders list on the main screen. And as you sell them, it will just increase those by whatever amount you're selling. So it automatically generates a purchase order for you in that way, which you can obviously edit and change. Let's say you don't want to ever sell these calculators again. You can obviously just delete the item in the purchase order or in the order before you create the purchase order for the supplier. If you're creating, let's say you've got orange calculators, red calculators, and you want to specify them separately, you obviously then have to create a separate code for each of them. Okay, so let's say, for example, I want to make this a red one, but now I don't want to type and set all these for each one every time. So I can actually copy this item. So if I know I'm going to be adding an orange and a green one, I go copy this item. I then save this item. Okay, and then when I go and add an item, there's an option to paste. So I'm not going to do that now, but in this case, I'm just going to say, in fact, let's just keep it. I'm just going to keep all big button calculators under one, doesn't matter what color. And I'm going to save it. Okay, so there I've created one. Ask me, do I want to create another? I say no. So there you can see there's the item I've just created. Calculator, big button. If I double click on that, it comes up with the product profile. So there you can see all the information that I've just added, 12, the costs, the retail. There it's automatic. That's the automatic PLU code it's generated. Basically, it takes the first 3 letters of the description and generates a alphanumeric combination at the end of that. So that's how it generates its own. Obviously, no item can have the same PLU code. Likewise, no item can have the same barcode on the system. The system will actually bark at you and say, there's an existing barcode or PLU code on the system. Please generate another one. Again, here are all the flags that we can set for each item. We can generate a barcode automatically as well. Generate a barcode for the system if it doesn't have one. For this item, Category, department, supplier, the description I can change here. Then on the left, we've got our different tabs. So here we'll have information. So when last we loaded stock of the item. Obviously, we haven't loaded stock on this yet from a GRV, supply invoice. Here we can also run a special. So let's say for the month of September, I'm going to run a special on this item. Okay, so let's say from the 1st of September till the 30th of September, I'm going to sell the calculator at 80 Rand. So for the month of September, it will sell the calculator at 80 Rand. On the 1st of October, it will automatically revert back to the 99 Rand price. You can also do price specials like buy two and get the third one free, that type of thing as well on EasyAs. Okay, and then on the top right here, we've just got total sold, month to date, sold today. Linking products, again, I'll get to that later. That's essentially linking smaller packs to bigger packs. For example, packets of cigarettes to cartons, and the system will automatically break up the cartons for you. If the cartons or the packs are low, we'll go in, take one carton off, break it up. So that's what linking products are for. We can also add expiry dates. So let's say it's a health product or something that expires, we can set an expiry date. We can also print a report to show me all items that have expired. Then we've got happy hour, exactly like a bar where we're selling the item at a certain price during certain times of the day in the week. Then we've also got bill of materials. So bill of materials will be used for items that are basically set up as hamper items. So let's say you've got a hardware and you're selling a handyman combo that consists of a hammer, a side cutter, and some nails, for example. So you can add the hammer, the nails, the side cutter all into this. So when I sell the handyman special, it will automatically take a hammer off and so much nails and so much or a side cutter. So that's what the bill of materials is for. Specials is used for also as a special or hamper, but let's say you're selling a air purifier that's got fragrances like lemon and citrus or whatever. You can create air humidifier special, and then you can go and add all the fragrances or the oils or whatever into this list here. So when you sell the product, a little window will come up and say choose your oil, and then you click on the oil citrus, and it will then add that as part of the special to the items list for you at point of sale. Multi-codes can be used for different things. So these are items that have, as the name says, it's the same product, but it's got different codes. Different barcodes for each item. So biltong is one. Biltong's biltong, but it's got many codes for the different sizes or weight, should I say. So it might be a silly example, but because biltong, we can just add a scale option and use it like that. But you get the idea. It's used for items which are the same, but they have different product codes as such. Product codes or barcodes. Barcodes. Yeah, because it will still have the same PLU code, but it'll have a different item code or barcode. It's normally a barcode. Okay, then going to the bottom here, we can add a product image. So we can add either browse for it or click to capture it via webcam. We can do a movement analysis, what I spoke about earlier, where you can go from a certain day to a day, tell you how many sold, and then you can do the graph, which I explained. So for the calculator big buttons for the last 3 years, January to December, how well is this product done? So that's movement analysis. Copy this item again, where you can copy and paste the items, and then we just save it. So going back to our profile, we can just click save. Generate barcode. Let's just show you the generation. So let's say this item doesn't have a barcode, and I've got a barcode label printer that I want to generate a code for, that I can print it out and stick it on my calculators. So all I do is I go to generate barcode. I can then click on this for description. So let's say that will be the description on the label, or I can change it, so I can edit it. I can then go generate label. So there you can see it automatically generates the barcode for me. I can then save the label. So there you can see it's generated the barcode. There's the barcode number. If I want to now print it, I can just go print. I can select the label format. Our system only supports certain label formats. Okay, so it's more of the common type. You can't, unfortunately, just take any barcode label and set it. It will have to be one of these label formats here. So predefined labels. These are shelf talkers that you can print. So that's 100 by 30, which you stick on the shelf for shelf talkers. There's the settings, and then you just click save. But The most common one is 40 by 30. I then say print. I then select the barcode printer that I'm printing to, and there's a couple of options here. If it's on special, it will tell you, it's on special, or I can say I don't want a logo on the sticker, or I want the currency symbol or whatever. There's a few options here. I can select the amount, or I can just put in there 30 or 80 or whatever, and I can click print, and it'll print me all the labels for this item. Okay, so that's the PLU profile. This is what we call a PLU profile. So once we're happy, we just save it. And that's it. So that's adding an item, editing item. Like I said, you just double click on change whatever you want to change, and you click save. You'll see under stock categories, the electronics was automatically added, as I said. And that's adding and editing stock. Very straightforward. Next thing, we're going to dive into selling, or going to point of sale to sell our products.